Good evening. It is time for today's tax talk. It is actually Crypto Tuesday, the 26th of October, year of our Lord 2021. Again, Crypto Tuesday, we're going to talk about crypto and the future, because I think that's where it is. Won't you join us? Okay, so here we are on Crypto Tuesday. I want to thank so much for joining us. I've been doing a lot of, remember last week we were talking about utility versus storage of crypto, and really that the power of cryptocurrency is not in the storage of value, and the value going up like Bitcoin and all of this, and putting our money there and investing and waiting. The beauty of Bitcoin is the utilization, the use. How do you use it? How does it make our life easier? And we know that John McAfee was saying that he believes that this was like the invention of fire, blockchain, not so much crypto as much as blockchain. And you can't, with many of these, you can't separate cryptocurrency from blockchain. Because one crypto needs blockchain, but only some of the coins use the blockchain to its full, I wouldn't even say full extent, to a greater extent than others. And one of those that really uses crypto or the blockchain technology more than say Bitcoin is the Ethereum. Is Ethereum, because Ethereum is attached to smart contracts and others, and there's a lot going on in Ethereum world. The Eth2, they call it Eth 2.0, and what's happening with that the development of Ethereum. That's what one of the things we're going to talk about today, and also the use of smart contracts. What's changing with Ethereum that's different than say Bitcoin? We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about, and I mentioned in the title here about world currency, the reserve currency, and where's that going? And so I'll mention, we'll talk a little bit about that, about what and why this might be the time that Ethereum's the way to invest, rather than these other coins, and Bitcoin included. Even though Bitcoin is still the big boy on the block, why is there evidence, or what is the evidence that maybe Ethereum is going to be taking over and be the world reserve currency? But as is our want, we generally will start with the markets, with our friends at CoinFlip. If you go to coinflip.tech at their market page, I always like to begin here. So we see this is our last 24 hours. Bitcoin's kind of taking a little bit of a ride down, as Ethereum has kind of gone up and down all day. Not very much lower than where it started. Again, Litecoin is there, kind of balancing, kind of not going anywhere, up and down all day. But let's start. I always like to do from last week, because that's when last we were together to talk about crypto. And so last week it was at 64,000 Bitcoin. Today, right now, it's at 60. So kind of a ride down. Not as we know, the volatility of Bitcoin or any of these coins. This is not very volatile. If it's gone from 66 to 60, little bit of a decline, but not really volatile. The volatility as we've seen over the course of history of crypto. So let's just look at Ethereum now. What's going on with Ethereum? And Ethereum's kind of going up. Again, last week started at last we were together 38.95, and today it's at 41.57. So it's gone on the upswing. Again, not a huge difference, not a huge gain. Again, the market cap, I will talk a little bit about the market cap. So you look at 489 billion. What's the market cap of Bitcoin? Let's do that one again because I think that's interesting. And it's actually $1 trillion, 1.2 trillion in market cap. So again, growing every day, as it seems. And but that's an interesting. I always like to start our discussion with because volatility is always such a big story whenever you talk about cryptocurrency. Now, the next story I want to talk about is, again, goes back to Ethereum 2.0, what they call it, ETH 2.0. I don't know if I haven't heard anybody else talking about it. So I'm not sure how they pronounce it, to be quite honest with you. But, but let's go into that. Okay. The merge to end cryptocurrency. Uh-oh, what happened there? That's my Tylenol. That's not what I wanted. Okay, so let's go back. Not sure what happened there. I must have hit a ad. That happens. Okay, so let's talk about the merge. The end. Oh, there was a Tylenol. That's what I accidentally hit the. Okay, so the end cryptocurrency mining on gaming GPUs won't come until. So what does that mean? Okay, so what's happening is, as you may be aware, one of the big digs or criticisms of cryptocurrency is mining of the cryptocurrency and the energy that it takes to mine cryptocurrency. We talked a little bit about this now with El Salvador, and they're trying to change it into using the geothermal of the volcanoes to create green energy in order to use it for mining. However, in what's going on with Ethereum is different, and that what they call the shift. So let's read a little bit about this, because this is really a major change that may make a huge difference in what coin becomes prevalent. As I mentioned, I think sometimes it's not really about which coin is going to be the granddaddy of them all, but that there's going to be an infinite number of them. And so, and if we use it to their capabilities, using the blockchain technology for smart contracts and the possibilities that we're at the very heart, the very beginning of what the possibilities of blockchain and cryptocurrency are. And so, but let's turn a little bit. Turns out that it may still be some time before the bane of cryptocurrency mining releases its grip on our precious gaming GPU stock, right? Because everybody's using the graphic cards in order to create crypto, because that's where they're making money. So they're using this. So a lot of these GPUs, graphic interfaces, are being used for crypto and are being eaten up, in a sense, from being available for gaming. If I'm using them for mining crypto, well, and they're willing to pay more for them, well, then you're not going to have them for gaming, and that's been a part of the problem. I wanted to. So this is the proof of stake, and this is the change. And I could have read it in that, but this is from Ethereum's webpage, and the proof of stake, which varies from what they call proof of work. Right now, in order to mine crypto, you have to prove that you worked in order to verify a transaction, and when you have the proof of work, that's how you mine and get value for yourself from Bitcoin or from these other coins. And the proof of stake is different. When you do proof of work, everybody's rushing. You have many competitors rushing, and they need a lot of power for computing power in order to be the first one to provide the algorithm in order to get paid. And so you have many people out there using their computing power. Much of it goes nowhere because they don't get paid for it, because whoever's first gets paid. Proof of work, you go first. In this version, proof of stake, it's not farmed out for the first one to that can produce it. So there's not a race. It's assigned to a committee, and that committee approves the work. And so not as many. You don't have the infinite number of computing trying to beat everybody. So this committee then comes up and proves it, and that's how they get paid. And it changes everything, and that changes the number of people, not only the number of computers, but the need for all of that computing power goes away, and that's why it's going to change in Ethereum, and that's one of the driving forces behind the push that is now being seen with Ethereum. I wanted to talk a little bit also about what a smart contract is, because we've heard about it, but many people don't understand what it is. And so I just want to give the definition of this, and here it is here. What is a smart contract defined? Smart contracts are simply programs stored on a blockchain that run when predetermined conditions are met. They typically are used to automate the execution of an agreement so that all participants can be immediately certain of the outcome without any intermediaries involved or time loss. They can also automate a workflow, triggering the next action when conditions are met. And again, if you do anything with the if-then. Smart contracts work by following simple if-when-then statements that are written into code on the blockchain. A network of computers executes the actions when predetermined conditions have been met and verified. These actions could include releasing funds to the appropriate party, registering a vehicle, sending notifications, or issuing a ticket. The blockchain is then updated when the transaction is complete. That means the transaction cannot be changed, and only parties who have been granted permission can see the results. Okay, so again, if the power of the blockchain is in this smart contract, and the smart contract is associated and linked really to Ethereum and others, but not Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't have this capability. Then which way do you think it's going to go? Again, I don't know. But my guess would be that Ethereum would be has the edge in technology. Bitcoin was really the first and used blockchain, and so it's the big boy on the block. But does it have the best capability of continuing the growth by using the technology? And so what coin uses that technology to the best advantage? If, like John McAfee said, that this is going to be like the invention of a blockchain is like the invention or the discovery of fire, well, what's going to light that fire? What's going to make the innovation? All right. And smart contracts certainly is what that fire is going to be, and how we're going to use it to change the world, because fire changed the world. Well, blockchain has that capability to change the world. So I'm going to go. So here's a story about Rand Paul questioning if crypto could become the world reserve currency, and that's where the title of this of our story today, or the podcast today, is. Senator Rand Paul is a new interview question whether cryptocurrency could replace the dollar as a reserve currency of the world as it continues to gain traction around the world. Remember, Rand Paul was one of the first to use it in his campaign in 2015 for the 2016 election. I've started to question now whether or not cryptocurrency could actually become the reserve currency of the world as more and more people lose confidence in government, Paul said in an interview. The senator made headlines in 2015 when his presidential campaign, I thought it was his senatorial campaigns, but announced that it would accept Bitcoin donations on its website. That announcement came after the Federal Election Commission approved an advisory opinion in 2014 that permitted campaigns to accept Bitcoin donations subject to valuation and reporting policies. Paul said cryptocurrency is currently bigger than he ever expected it to become back in 2015. I've been amazed at the growth of it, and I've always been, more a person who believed that our currency should be backed by something of real value like gold or silver or commodities. Of course, that's why he wants to audit the Fed, right? Go back to gold like his dad. And always was wondering, well, crypto is not backed by anything either. But here's what I've started to believe now, in that the government currencies are so unreliable. They're also fiat currencies. They're not backed by anything. The dollar has been more stable than most other countries, and so it is a reserve currency. Asked how concerned he is about illegal use of cryptocurrency and if there should be a more regulation of the digital currency, Paul pointed to government oversight of private bank accounts. I guess I'm more concerned with government snooping into our private bank accounts, whether it's cryptocurrency or your bank account. The senator's comments come amid the increased focus on Capitol Hill regarding cryptocurrency and an effort by Democrats to increase reporting requirements on banks for IRS tax collection purposes. A bipartisan pair of senators introduced a bill last month that aims to increase oversight of cryptocurrency mining overseas. Well, I'm going to skip the rest of this because it has to do with mining. But here's the thing. I have to agree with them that that governments are not, there's lots of skepticism in governments and what's going on in the governments. And if there is going to be a revival or a change in reserve currency, crypto seems to be the odds-on favorite for becoming that reserve currency. I know the Chinese government wants their their yen, I believe it's yen, to be the standard or the reserve. But I think it's more likely that because the Communist Party controls China, and you want the reserve currency to be controlled by a secretive government. I don't think most of the world does, and so that's where the Ethereum. I think Ethereum shows a big promise there. And so I want one more story before we go. And this story has to do with Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban says Ethereum has the most upside as a crypto investment. And so that's his opinion. Though the crypto markets have exploded this year, not all digital coins and assets are equal, according to Mark Cuban. When asked what cryptocurrency he suggests for beginners or new investors, Cuban explained how he views many of the most popular digital coins. As an investment, I think Ethereum has the most upside, and Bitcoin is better gold than gold. To learn about cryptocurrency and how the space's rich communities can impact the markets, Cuban recommends meme-inspired Dogecoin. Either this year, Dogecoin became one of the top 10 currencies by market value, in part due to influence of the Dogecoin community and its supporters. Cuban also recommends Dogecoin for fun, he says. So again, I just wanted to point that out, that it seems if the numbers are going, the numbers seem to be, the momentum seems to be moving for Ethereum above all these others for many reasons. Again, I think if we look for last week when we talked about utility versus storage, the utility of Ethereum is certainly more greater than the utility of Bitcoin. Just an opinion. I thought it was interesting. I think that in this space on Crypto Tuesday, we will start talking a lot about blockchain and smart contracts, because I think it's all obviously it's all related, but they all have the same backbone, which is blockchain. And so the blockchain technology is really going to be driving what cryptocurrencies are going to be successful and which are not. Just an opinion. I wanted so thanks so much for joining us today. I wanted to also ask you to like and subscribe to the podcast. Also, remember, if you're fighting the IRS, where do you start fighting the IRS? With my book, Deal with Your IRS Problem Today. Go to freeirsbook.com. Get a copy of my book, freeirsbook.com. if you want a hard copy, then I'm going to ask you to pay for shipping in Henry, small fee. But if you don't want a hard copy and you want a copy of the book, go there, fill it out. Don't give me your charge, the charge account, and I'll make sure you get into our membership site. The membership site has a copy of the book in PDF and in Word format. Also has audio version. I read all the chapters. And then there's a video summary of each and every chapter. So again, go to freeirsbook.com and to get that. So thanks so much for joining us here today. I wanted to look forward to next Tuesday, Crypto Tuesday. Tomorrow is today's Tax Talk. We'll talk about tax. Go figure. Okay, so thanks so much for joining us, and hope to see you. Well, let me make sure that I have to get that up. Okay, so thanks and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks again.